Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world, and we're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod, the 40-unit save version, playing as Poland, the Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth to be exact. And we had a great turn last episode, really almost providing a knockout blow to Austria. The only thing that's in their favor is this army camped right outside of Warsaw. But hopefully we have enough reinforcements that have grouped up here to give them a good battle now if they do decide to go and invade our capital. About the only other thing we got to look at doing, there's only one other territory actually being held right now by Austria, and that's down here in Croatia. So I can't move out and reach it right now, at least not with my army in the capital of Vienna. I could reach there with my army here in Pressburg, but if you remember, all that's left is militia, so I don't exactly want to take on this battle with militia only. That's a fairly decent stack for just militia, so what we're probably going to have to do is look at next turn, venturing forth, and we may cause a revolt in Austria, but I'd much rather try to do the knockout blow to Austria by taking out Croatia, and if we have a little revolt to then follow up and deal with, so be it. I think we've got the forces to do that. One thing I will do, just because he has what is this, a cavalry unit down here that could wander pretty good or pretty well, I think what we will do, and I think we can without playing with the public order in Pressburg, I'm going to bring a couple militia units down, and we'll bring our best ones down chevron-wise to stand up to the cavalry, just so we can make sure this school, since it's been targeted once already, and it's being repaired now, let's at least, and we can afford to move that guy out, and let's see, we should, yeah, looking at the bar, we got some flexibility, so we should be able to move another unit of militia out to at least protect ourselves over here. Who's the next strongest? Well, there's full chevrons there, but he's not exactly a... And this guy, well, he may only have 25, so we may have to look at moving a little more than that, but these guys have the best 25. Yeah, that's still not very many troops, and we can still move some more out. So now we're looking at lower chevrons. Let's just deal with numbers in the unit, in the regiment, and we're still okay order-wise. So just to be safe, let's move one more down. And we'll leave it like that because Pressburg is under control. We'll leave a couple units there rather than pushing it. And why are we not getting in here to combine? Oh, he's reached his limit for whatever reason, so let's not force that issue. They'll count as one combined unit with reinforcements. So there we go. And so we're going to get our rake moving up north, I imagine, just to get better eyes up towards Prussia perhaps at this time, or some of the small minor nations up in this direction. That's where we'll move our rake to start with. No sense having them both go down through the Ottoman Empire. We might as well spread out our vision, since we're fortunate enough to have two. And then we have our other rake that's down here, if I recall. Yeah, I want to kind of keep him wandering along over this way to see what else we can spy out. And we're not seeing a lot of units over here, which is fine by me. I have absolutely no problem with that. So fortunately, no immediate threats. It looks like the big force right now for the Ottomans is down here by the region capital here in Istanbul. So if we see that force moving, then we're going to have a concern on our hands. Hopefully we can end this little, I don't know, disagreement with Austria by then. We'll find out. So I think that's all we got to do. Oh, wait. One thing I haven't checked in a while, because we've got new borders. We've expanded. Is there any other So we got Bavaria, which we can try to trade with. Ah, we got lots. Saxony. We actually now border Saxony now, so with our protectorate we can try to trade. That should be a no-brainer. I would hope. It better be. It is regrettable that my government would find these terms. Oh man, unacceptable. You've got to be kidding me. Even with our own protectorate that's friendly, they don't want to trade with us. How about Venice? What have you got up your sleeve? How about a little trade? No? Okay, this is frustrating. We have the ability to trade. Nobody wants to trade with us. I may have to start sweetening the pot. Now this one, they want military access. Württemberg, it's a minor... We're gonna go ahead and do it, just because we need the funds also for replenishing our armies and repairing buildings. We're gonna go ahead and do it. They are allies with Austria, but nobody else of any significance. So let's go ahead and do this just to get extra trade. And then let's get up here to Bavaria. And they want a cash payment. They're a protectorate of Dagestan. No other allies to speak of. I'm going to go, since we just made 1,000, I'm going to go spend half that just to get yet another trade agreement. And as long as it lasts like a turn or two, we're making a profit. So we're going to take that chance. And we got some more trade. And then we'll keep trying with Saxony and Venice coming up. We'll just have to remember to do that next turn. Okay, so now it's just time to press the button, time to press the end turn, and see what this army does standing outside our capital. Let's find out. Okay, so we have war that's been declared from the United Provinces on us, so shame on them. What the hell provoked you into declaring war on us, other than if it's a religious thing? But you have Austria on your side. Well, we're already fighting with them. Hanover, Cherokee nations, not a concern. Prussia concerns me. Great Britain, I think, as usual, will bail. So I'm a little concerned about Prussia. With that in mind, I'm going to call my allies to help. And we'll see which ones stick and which ones don't. Same over here. It looks like nobody joined the United Provinces. Of course, we are already at war with Austria. And only the Mughal Empire bailed from us. Not that that was any great alliance to begin with right there. But Saxony, Russia, Courland, all stay true, stay on our side. So I like our position. And most importantly, Prussia stayed out of the war, stayed out of the conflict. All right, we gained ourselves a new gentleman out of this one. I'm happy about that. He's down here, Galatia. So there's already somebody in that school, but at least we're kind of in the area of moving him over to a school that does have a need, potentially. So congratulations on our part. We gained a new gentleman. That's awesome. In fact, 2. We got another one in Poland. That's really cool. So 2 gentlemen to send to our schools, because we are in need of gentlemen, that's for sure, to boost the speed of our research in our schools. Holy smokes, a trifecta here. We got a 3rd gentleman, this time in Transylvania. Hallelujah, look at that. That's absolutely, that's like, I couldn't have wished for more to get our research going and high gear. So the alliance between us and the Mughals is broken. No big sadness on our part. And what do we have down here? Our recruitment report. So we got even more in our capital and a couple more reserves in Lithuania. What happened during the turn is the Austrian army, rather than attack, moved all the way down this road, over the bridge, and then over by the river over here. So I don't know what his intentions are, but I know my intentions are going to be to gather up my forces right here, and these forces will be out of it, but gather up my forces right here and come down and do battle. The other thing that happened on the mid-turn is Courland over here. They have a navy down in one of our trade nodes, Since they're our allies, they knocked out a small fleet, just a ship or two for United Provinces in one of the trade nodes. So already we're taking it to them, even on the seas, even though we don't have a navy. Our allies, our protectorates do. So that's kind of cool. And as far as what happened over here, this guy did not move whatsoever. So that's good news. And what else have we got? Nothing's happened here. He's recruited down here, and he stayed put. So that's kind of where we're looking. Our school is rebuilt here. I guess what we'll do, we'll start out with the battle. That's what we're here for, is to knock out Austria. The other thing we got to look at doing for this turn, or do we just do it first? Do we come down here first with this army, risk a revolt over here? Questions abound. Questions. We're going to come down here with our full army. I know it's going to cause the order to go to hell down here in Vienna. I don't think we can come down here and make it back in one turn. Let's hope the revolt doesn't happen too quickly. Let's hope it takes a little time to fester and we have time to get back up here and to get things back in order. We'll find out. Time will tell. As a matter of fact, maybe I only take part of our army down. Let's go take a look at what this army looks like here. We'll bring our general. We'll bring some cavalry, which is not a lot of units at totally full strength down here now, is there? We'll bring a couple cavalry units. In fact, we'll have 3 cavalry. We'll have our 2 cannon, 1 quite depleted. And then we'll bring our strongest line infantry units, not necessarily the ones with the most chevrons. We'll bring our strongest pikemen, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. That should be sufficient even with these recruits here, I think, for this battle. Let's move them out of the city. Now, let's just see who this reinforcement will be. It'll be a general and a Pandora, so nothing to get too worried about. Let's come down here and see if we're up to taking Croatia. See if we can do it. And we do have... what does this say? Why do I have so many reinforcements? Okay, our reinforcements here... Wow, we can... I don't understand where all these other... Okay, so... What I did is I apparently... I took the... Now I see what I did. I moved this force out of the city. That's why this is showing up as reinforcements. Well, since I kind of messed up on my movement, let's do this. Let's maintain our siege. Actually, we could make it back into the city with our force here. So let's just do that, please. We weren't planning to use you on the attack anyway. So much, I see exactly what I did. Rather than click on them, I was clicked on that army. Now we're going to come down and try the attack. And it's only a slight advantage in our favor, so no way they're going to surrender on this one, are they? Nope. So we got a tough little battle ahead of us. Let's see if we're up to it and see if we misjudged. Let's just double check. And it's open field, so it's really only the mortars to worry about. We do have 4 regiments of cavalry, including our leader. So we have the mobility to be able to take them out. They only have 1 as a reinforcement, their general. So yeah, I'm still going to go ahead and make this happen. So we will see you down on the battlefield. All right, let's take a look at this battlefield, and then what we do once I get the lay of the land here. So it's the deployment is almost all, or mostly totally, behind the city. which means they'll have the advantage of the mortars. So maybe what we do is we set our artillery up on a hill to command the view beyond the city. It may also command the shooting of their mortars. But this is what I'm going to do as far as the initial setup. So I'm going to finish setting everybody else up, then we'll come back and visit how we're going to deal with this one. Alright, so the way we've decided to set up, I have half my cavalry on this side of the map. I have half my cavalry unseen in the forest over here on this side of the map. Depending on where their mortars are, how protected they are, we're going to make a go for it with our cavalry. Everybody else is loosely scattered over here in case the mortars are in range to start bombarding. And then we have our cannon to also bombard depending on how they're set up. And they're protected nearby by the pikemen. We're not sure in case, you know, whoa, what if those reinforcements come right on the edge here? That would be horrid, but we're right here to help counter them if that is what happens. And then we'll also have to react depending on which direction their reinforcements come. Other than that, let's see where their starting setup is. We'll start the ongoing bombardment right away once we see where they are with our own cannon and see if we can't make this happen. Okay, they're way back there. Fortunately, the mortars are within range, so our cannon are going to open up against the mortars. And right now, because of the line right behind their mortars, we're not going to advance. Let's go see as far as... So what happens is their reinforcements are coming in right near my cavalry over here. And the Pandours are subject to a charge by us, so we're going to charge right into them right now. And if he wants to bombard us in battle with his mortars, he'll probably be able to hit us, but we're going to be in battle with them. We'll send one over here to charge in against the general. We'll try to take out the reinforcing Pandours and then join up against the general's bodyguard. Hopefully we can hold our own long enough. We should knock them out pretty quick, is what I'm thinking. And they're fading fast. They are not built for hand-to-hand. And they're already starting to fade and waver. Question is, how are we holding up against the general's bodyguard? So far, not bad. Oh wait, I've got my my own reinforcements are coming in now, way back here. And we're just going to line them up in the distance. Let's get a support back in here. That's who I wanted to move over here, was my other cavalry unit, so we could outnumber the general. And the enemy general has fallen, so we should be able to take care of him quickly. So the reinforcements are not going to make it to the battlefield. It's down to 31 mounted units, and the mortars are not going to help matters at all, as I think they probably hit him as much as he hit us. So he's broken. He's leaving the battlefield, especially with the general not there. He's shattered. Let's get our cavalry, see if we can re-hide in the forest. Before they start bombarding us some more. It doesn't look like we are going to be able to hide at all. Now, is our own cannon, is it very effective? Now that we have time to look, let's go find out if we're managing to hit at all over here. Otherwise, we're looking at provincial line infantry, armed citizenry. So it may be just something we have to charge in with our cavalry hit and run. So we are hidden in the forest now. Who is he firing at? It doesn't look like any of my units are being hit yet. Let's keep our militia out of potential. That looks like it could be in range of fire, so we'll move them back over here. And then we're going to start making a move with cavalry. Now that's my general. I'm not going to do it with him. What we're going to do is we're going to do the big charge with cavalry. We're going to sacrifice them because right now we don't seem to be doing much here. In fact, we're waiting to fire and we're not firing for whatever reason. I'm hearing no cannon firing on our part, even though we've targeted them, even though they're in range. But I guess the buildings perhaps are blocking our view, which is why we can't fire. So let's do this. I would say perhaps, given that view, maybe. Are they in our range of fire? Barely. We're going to try firing over here and see what happens. There's no building blocking our view here, it would seem. And it's infinitely frustrating that our artillery is not able to fire. That's the reason I took that hillside position. So this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to charge. And we're going to charge and see what we can do. We're going to take some shots from these guys in the back, but most of them are, well, even the regiment of foot is the provincial. It's not the top-notch regiment of foot. Let's hope they can't bombard us too much. Let's hope we are swift enough to avoid the bombardments. And we'll each take on a regiment of mortar, and we'll see what their line behind does. We are in range of musket fire once we close in on the mortars. And the question's going to be, how much damage are we going to take? Oof. Those shots were true. Those shots were good. We're wavering a little bit. Let's hope enough of us make it through. This is kind of a suicide kind of a charge, but it's just to take out the mortars. Just so that we can control the battlefield, reform our lines a little bit closer, and start making our advance. We've got them wavering. We got one shattered. We got the other shattered. So these two units need to retreat and get out of the line of fire. And we've got them all shattered. So we've done our job. Let's retreat our cavalry. I said, let's retreat our cavalry. What is this charging nonsense when I did not give those directions? We have a commander that does not listen to his general in the ranks here. And they're starting to advance now because we have the cannon fire to go against them and pick them off at a distance. Now it's their turn to have to react and address that issue. And let's start forming our line. We have our regiment of foot here, which we're going to place in this position. We're going to use our militia as the reserves. With the general in command behind. The rest of the cavalry, we got to make sure they are retreating. And they've gone single file here. And this cavalry will bring up over here. Now that I've had it run extremely far, hopefully give them a chance to catch their breath and rest now. And they are moving through the city. And our cannons should have no excuse to not be firing on their lines now as they start advancing closer and closer. So now we have our cavalry all nearby, following orders so far, finally getting through the city as the rest of our lines get lined up and in position. Our cannon are finally firing on their advance. Now everything is in our advantage, our control now, as we get everybody moving. We're going to advance up to this wall position as our defensive spot. For our line infantry, and keep ourselves behind the walls. Same with our militia over here, and it looks like we're going to have some nice wall positions with which to hold. We'll keep the rest of our militia and whatnot in reserve. Come on, behind the wall, guys. Of the wiped out militia will stay in the background. Okay, we've got our wall positions here. We're pulling back our regiment of horses. We've driven them off here. Now we've got this advance through the town over here to deal with. Our positions are rock solid behind the fences here. Now we're going to reorient our cannon fire at this time. Let them know that we see them over here on the flanks as they're maneuvering past the city. And we're not going to allow free reign movement over here. They're going to try and advance over on this flank again, the garrison militia. We should be able to drive them off, even with militia behind our wall positions. They're supported by the regiment of foot over here. We have the cover, they do not. They have the distinct disadvantage of advancing through the open fields. Oh, they have the distinct advantage of having a hill in their way, so as soon as they get to the rise of the hill, no wonder our shots have not been super successful. Let's see what happens if that changes as they get to the top of the hill. I think it does, because they're like, oh, we're getting shot at now, guys. Run, run. They're wavering. They're charging into the militia. They seem to be driving a little bit of us off the wall position, but they're also gaining fire from our line infantry over here. They are holding. Let's go into melee stance with our militia. And we are outnumbered, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our line infantry here, bring them out from behind the wall, since this is the only unit on this wing that we have to deal with. And the advance is being held okay on this side at the moment, not needing to bring in our cavalry, and we will charge them in the rear, try to finish off this flank. I'm thinking they should fold, given the circumstances. And they're doing just that. They're broken again. We're going to find out if they're going to reform. In the meantime, we're going behind our walls. Because we like our walls. And they're shattered now, so we don't care about our walls. What we're going to do is bring you over here to reinforce over on this side. In fact, we got a whole mess of firelock infantry out here. We're going to charge our pikemen down the hill. We're going to totally send our cavalry out to the flank and do a number on them from there. We're going to move our general back so he does not take fire. We're going to concentrate artillery right here. But our wall position has driven this one off already. The threat of a flank after we assault here should take care of the next one. Or perhaps the threat of a rear charge will take care of them. Oof, artillery is just a little too close for comfort. We're going to charge into the rear there. We're going to charge into the rear here. We're going to continue trying to drive them off as our lines are folding. We have one coherent unit of foot over here, and we're about to advance out of our positions here to take them on. And we're going to do just that with these two regiments. And you guys are active. You're not, well, you're a little bit winded. So we'll keep you at a walk. And we're going to bring our general in to help us out here. Should have all these units being chased down right now. We only have this unit left to deal with. We're going to come out of the coziness of our wall and advance at a run on these guys. And he's now taking the single file escape, and that's going to cause our cavalry to do the same. So let's bring our cavalry out this way. Let's run to form your line. Run to form your line since we're almost there. And let's open fire on this final unit we need to take out. Let's run up the hill. Keep our cavalry chasing them down. Often you have to remind them because they get separated due to the weird terrain in this game. And now that we've got fire against them, is everybody firing? Don't hear a lot of firing. Can we get everybody firing over here before they turn to face our cavalry? Now maybe a soft little charge into the rear will be enough to break them. We got our cavalry going single file through the forest. The pathing fun of Empire Total War. He's wavering. We're going to stop the gunfire so we don't damage any more of our cavalry. And we should have this battle in hand. I can't think of any more Austrian units on the map, and yes, that indeed is the end of the battle. So we're just going to end it here. No need to chase down into city battle. All right, so we only lost 100. It seemed like we lost a hell of a lot more than that, but we only lost 170 men. So that was a great job by our units there. So we have taken it over here, and nation has been destroyed. So the army that retreated here, we ended up not having to have that big battle after all. Guess what, my friends? Austria is no more. And I think what I'm going to do is send this militia unit down here to hold our port. We are going to repair our port. What do you know? We have our first seagoing ocean access. Look at that. We're going to repair here. What are we looking at as far as public order? Looking pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. How many can we afford? Can we reach? We can't reach. We cannot reach. Well, we kind of knew that would happen. Let's just repair some buildings some more to aid in our attempt to get order back under control in these areas. And that eats through a lot of our funds. So I ended up pausing because I had an interruption to my recording. So I apologize for that, but we're back. All I've done is I think off camera I started doing a few things thinking I was still recording and hadn't paused it because of my interruption. But what we have is I've replenished my armies that I could. It's not even that full army right here. That pretty much spent all my money. I wasn't able to replenish really anything else at this point. So that's really all I did off camera. And then it's pretty much just thinking about what we have that we need to do. We have our gentlemen to get out to our schools. And it's really starting to think about our next plans. I did move this army that was right outside of Warsaw over to Gdansk. I felt having a presence on our coast with United Provinces being able to land a force right on the beach here would be an issue. I moved reinforcements over from Lithuania, and that's them right here, and I consolidated any loose formations over here. So we kind of have a build up here. I have a presence on the coast, and then we are rebuilding all down here. So that's what's going on. Once I realized, oops, I did pause my recording and I needed to turn it back on. That's what I did off camera. My mistake. And then I just kind of did some postulating on what we should do next. Obviously, a big one is looking at Prussia. And thinking about, and over here is not Prussia. This is Westphalia. So Prussia really only has these two territories. And they have strong forces. They have strong armies holding these positions. So this is not something to be taken lightly. So I'm thinking once we get ourselves back under control here in Austria, we get the last buildings fixed, our armies replenished, we get the revolts under control, I'm thinking Prussia's our next target. The other option also that I would like to move against, because if I hold off too long, we may have Russia swooping in on Sweden down in these two provinces, and it would be nice to at least get one of them, particularly Riga, Estonia, Livonia, because it has a potential port that can grow here to give us yet some more seashore, seaside presence to potentially start increasing, even gaining a trade fleet of some sort. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you guys have feedback or ideas, feel free to let me know. Ultimately, I'll make the final decision, but I love getting any input or ideas on what you guys have on where we should move next. But I'm probably leaning better than 50-50 against shortly declaring war against Prussia. But then again, you know, United Provinces declared war out of the blue pretty well on us, and that doesn't mean somebody else won't also. The Ottoman Empire is always a threat right in our backyard. That's why we're keeping an eye on their big army around Istanbul. So that's kind of where we're at. And I hope you enjoyed today's battle. There's only one battle today, but now that we've got to reorient ourselves, I'm going to kind of look around the map a little bit, see where I want to focus, where I need to send my gentlemen. We'll do that part off camera and then get all those moves done when we come back next time. So this is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. I really do appreciate your watching so far in this playthrough, and I do hope to see you next time.